Awesome, awesome. Well, it is 6 o'clock. We're gonna give just 2 more minutes. I had a couple more people who signed up.
Okay,
So we're gonna see if they come in, but we definitely want to respect y'all time.
right.
So we're just gonna give another couple of minutes. We was just kind of chopping it up a little bit, Ella. Just talking about AI, how beneficial it is, and important that we kind of learn this stuff, for our benefit, so that we can use it as opposed to it using us, kind of.
Right, right.
What's your experience level with AI so far?
Well, I use it about every day for one thing or another. So, yeah, I
All right.
really.
Are you more so
Hmm.
or you use other things?
You kind
You broke up
you
for
kind
a
of
minute.
broke up a little bit.
What'd you say?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have a chat user or you use other platforms.
Other besides Chat GPT? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Yes.
used Perplexity before.
Okay. Awesome.
When
Awesome.
I wanted to research something, and I've used a couple of them, but mostly Chat GPT because it's just I can go right to
All
it.
right. So thank you for joining. My name is Cash. I don't really know you guys, but I'm the founder and executive director of Financial Boss. And Financial Boss is a nonprofit organization where we teach children primarily financial literacy as well as money management. And one of the things that I wanted to do is just impress upon the community whether or not I'm instructing children or helping others, the mission is still the same, and that's for us to have financial freedom, financial wellness, and to be successful. And like one of the things we were just talking about is the fact that AI, artificial intelligence, is not going anywhere, right? And so it would definitely behoove us to learn how to use it and what to use it for so that we can use it to our benefit, right? And we could get the most holistic viewpoint of it so we'll know whether or not it works for us, what we can use it for, and again, how it's going to be beneficial to us personally or in our organizations and our companies. So actually asked Jimmy and partnered up with Jimmy of Every Dot Black in order to present this workshop to you. We're doing a 4-part workshop. Today is the first, where we're going to do a deep dive into perplexity. And as you noticed on the flyers, everything but chat, right? So I think that everybody is pretty familiar with Chat GPT. It came out first. Everybody kind of got to know it and sticks with it, right? And so, what I wanted to do is be able to create a platform and a forum where you could really learn what else is out there. Chat is not the only AI platform, it's not the only AI tool. It does a lot of different things, definitely, but there are some other platforms, and basically, whether you decide to use them or not is totally up to you. But one of the things that we wanted to do is again lay it out for you and be able to present these items to you or these platforms so then you can make a holistic decision as to whether or not it'll work for you personally or in your business. And so that's what we're going to do today. So, like I mentioned, today we're going to do a deep dive into perplexity, what it does, why it's beneficial, the comparison of it to Chat GPT, some differences, some similarities also, and then later on, I'm going to kind of go into what you might use it for in order for financial success and financial gain, even. All right. So, without further ado, I am going to pass it over to Jimmy,
Okay,
and he's going to go ahead and show us some things. All right, Jimmy, I appreciate you, sir. Thank you
for
so much.
sure. Well, I have to let you know, Cash, Addie and Ella and I, we all know each other from years back.
Okay.
So
All
we're
right.
all very familiar with one another.
Well, it's a
We're
pleasure to
all,
meet you, to,
all
to
every
meet you all then.
we're all part of Every Dot Black. Um,
That's, oh,
Yeah.
and for the training that I always do is I just always start from the beginning because I never know who's going to be in the room. But we have a small group, and it sounds like you're all using Perplexity anyway. So, just speed me along if some of the things I say are elementary like that. I would just assume you know nothing. I don't want to ever lose anyone. But I just tell people that artificial intelligence has just been around for quite a while. I say, well, like when you use Netflix or YouTube and you watch something, and then it will give you suggestions based on your history of what you should see next. So that's really a form of artificial intelligence. But what's new are these large, or really become popular, these large language models, or you hear the term LLM. And basically, that just means that these models, and Perplexity is one. The first one that kind of came on the scene was ChatGPT in November of 2022. So if you think about it, this whole thing is within literally about 3 years now. It's just taken the world by storm. But Perplexity is one of those large language models. And what's happened after chat came on the scene, then a number of others, you might hear, like Cash was saying, Copilot and Claude and Gemini, because all the other companies want to get in on it as well. And but I tell people that no matter what AI you use, there's still some limitations that you need to be aware of. And one, it says knowledge is based on past data. Now, Perplexity allows you to search the web in addition, but we have to remember that sometimes it may not be down to the minute. It's based on past data. And this is big. It's not necessarily based on the truth. It's based on what's out there available. And so whatever these programs are pulling up is pulling up information that's on the web or in, in the massive large language model database, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. So we have to always kind of double check and be aware of that. It sometimes hallucinates and makes mistakes. Now, Perplexity is really good about not making mistakes because it actually cites your sources. But we have to be aware that it can make mistakes and it can contain biases. What I mean by that is in our society is biased. And so some of these models are pulling information from the internet, from the world, which can also be biased. So we have to remember that some of the responses can contain biases. It can be used to spread misinformation. Um, Sometimes one thing that comes into mind in particular is that when someone used AI to clone the voice of Joe, I think it was Joe Biden, and telling people it wasn't time to vote yet, they were going to vote next week or something like that. It can threaten our privacy. And this is one thing that you want to remember is that I tell people don't put anything that is personal, specific to you, your social security number, nothing personal on when you're doing your searches. And copyright infringements. And again, this is not necessarily Perplexity. These are just things in general with AI. Copyright infringements. Um, Already, I know there's been a number of cases in the courts where people are saying that they've been plagiarized. So we want to be aware of that. And the answers are not necessarily consistent. I use the example of maybe your company and you're using AI to answer questions for your customers. One customer may get one answer, but another customer may get a slightly different answer. So we just want to be aware of these things that you have to be aware of. But however, I still believe that the benefits far outweigh these limitations and concerns. And they're getting better and better, like literally by the day. So compared to when they first came out. One of the things on a scale of some of the different AI platforms, and by the way, what I'll do is I've got a few slides, but then we're going to also go to really, I'm going to pull up Perplexity and also invite you all to do it as well when we get to that. But on the scale of AI applications, in general, ChatGPT on the left-hand side is more for creative tasks, where Perplexity is more accurate, again, because it cites the sources. It lets you know where it gets the information from. And you have some different options as to how you search for that information as well. This talks about the free version versus the paid version. There's a free version and a pro version of $20 a month. There's also what do they call it? Enterprise version, I believe it's called, for like $200 a month. I didn't even look at that, to be honest with you, for the $200 a month. But I did get the pro version. And actually I had the pro version before, but I use chat most of the time. So I went ahead and got it again so I can brush up on things for the class. Some of the benefits is that with the paid version, you can do more searches. You're not limited to the number of searches. You can also do some what they call deep research or what's called labs. But they give you some options that you cannot do with the free version. And what happens if you have the free version, when you click on some of the icons, it'll stop you and say, it'll take you to a screen to actually pay for the paid version if that's what you want. Um, and you get a discount too if you pay by the year. They top knock off $2 or 2 months worth of fees if you get it annually, pay annually. So yeah, number of searches limited with the paid version of 300 pro searches per day. So basically, I tell people try whether it's Perplexity or any of these applications, try the free version first, see if you like it. And when you run into those limitations, you'll realize, like, you know what, I need something that's going to do X, Y, Z, whatever. And then either maybe you want to pay for it, or you might want to look at another AI app to compare to see what else is out there. Now, again, I know you all are Perplexity users, so this may be elementary, but I just took a screenshot of my Perplexity page. And the web address you go to is perplexity.ai. And this is off of my computer. There is a mobile app as well. And I think that's number one and number two. And so number two, that little plus sign is when you want to start a new search or you want to do a new search for something. And number three is where you type it in. Um, and under the number three there, where it says search, research, and labs, those items are available if you have the paid version. They're not available with the free version, and it'll stop you and ask. But if you go over to the right with all those little arrows in again, where it says search source, that's where you can decide where you want to search, where you want to search the web, you want to search medical or records, research papers, is what I'm trying to say, or if you want to search social media, which is used, but primarily it searches Reddit, but it will search social media. And the model, and we'll look at these things too, but the model is, do you want Perplexity to act like chat or what's called Sonar? Sonar is Perplexity, more advanced search engine. There's some other options. I forget. We could take a look at them. If you have any attachments to upload, dictation is you can click on dictation and just say or talk what you want it to do or say your prompt. And then voice mode is where you can actually say it and it will say it or give it to you back. And that's great for your mobile apps if you're like on the road or something like that. So those are the things. The number four there is the home icon that's on the left, and that's where your library is stored. And so your library is a history of all of your searches that you've done, and they'll stay there unless you delete them. That's going to be your library. Now, what Perplexity does also is they give you some things one is called Discover, and basically what's trending. You click on that, it'll show you some things that's going on right today. And number seven is finance, the same thing. But number six is really cool. I like number six. It's called Spaces. Have any of you used Spaces at all? Yeah, Cash has. Ella hasn't. Okay. Spaces is cool because it allows you to have a collection of searches based on a particular topic or theme. And you can even you can give it instructions as to how to act. And I'll give you an example of that as well. And then number eight is for notifications. Uh, Perplexity will send you notifications when maybe things is done a search or something, or needs to send you a notification about something. Like I get a notification about tasks. I ask it to create some tasks. And then number nine is now you see the EB there because you can customize your little logo. but that's where your account information is stored and you can set your preferences. And then 10 is to upgrade. And 11 is when I clicked on the install, it brought up a new app that I had not used. I downloaded it and just looked at it briefly, but I didn't go into it deeply because it looked like that's a whole nother thing. It's called Comet. And Comet is a browser that Perplexity's come up with. It's an AI browser, but it looked really interesting. Has anyone looked at that at all? No? But it's called Comet, and it's a new browser, sort of like Google um, Chrome or Safari, but it's the browser that Perplexity's come out with that's AI, and it works well with Perplexity. But like I said, that looked like a whole nother thing, so I didn't get off into that. So
Yeah,
I just want.
when I downloaded my account,
Hmm.
open an account, then Comet comes up and get emails, welcome to Comet. But I'm not going to change my my browser.
Well, I didn't change my. I got to look at it and see uh, what all it does. But yeah, but it's a new app that they've come out with. Um, when I clicked on the install.
You could have
So
tried it though, just to see how it compares,
sure.
and if it does a deeper search. So from what it sounds like is that you're doing, basically, if it is a search similar to Google, I would assume maybe if it has the same functionality as Perplexity and gives that deeper dive just from a regular prompt, you know what I'm saying, like how you would do a Google prompt. If you could do that in Comment, that might be pretty cool.
Yeah,
So I'm definitely gonna try it out.
yeah, and I downloaded it. So after we looked at Perplexity, we got a couple hours here. We can pull it up and look at that as well.
Awesome. If we could,
And
that'd be great.
just play with it. But I have to say I haven't looked to that. And this talks about spaces. I'm gonna stop here, but I just wanted to show just some basic things here. Yeah, I'm gonna stop there. And I'm going to go and share my uh, Perplexity screen. Click this. Okay. And okay, so this is the Perplexity uh, dashboard. Like I say, I think you all familiar with this. But well, I'll start here. I was to try and debate whether or not to go to the preferences first. But one of the things that it does, as soon as you click on the prompt, the type of prompt, it gives you some suggestions as to what to cover. And uh, what it also does is as you start typing, it also will start to try to guess what it is you want. I use this example. How does an engine work? That's an automobile engine. Engine work. Now, these first three icons here again, because I have the pro version, the paid version, they're available to do a search. I don't want to do a lab. To do a search, a research is a deeper research on a topic, or labs. Man, we can do labs in a bit, but labs actually take up several minutes to create. On the other side, it says set sources for search. This is where you can search the web, uh, academic papers, or the social media. And one thing that it was interesting, you can actually connect your Google um, email to Perplexity, and you can have Perplexity search your Gmail or your Google Calendar, which I thought was pretty cool. I didn't connect them, but we can look on your preferences where you can actually connect not only those, but you can also connect other applications to Perplexity, and while you're doing these searches. But here it's going to search the web. And also this next icon here, where if you wanted to search sonar, this is Perplexity's fast model, GPT-5, Claude, uh, Addie mentioned she uses Claude. Now it's still a Perplexity search, but it is influenced, and I couldn't tell you exactly how. It does search is sort of like ChatGPT, but it's not the same. It's still Perplexity spin on the search. So when you use this, it's not giving you what GPT will give you exactly. It's still a Perplexity search, and the results are still Perplexity results. Um, and then here, if you had any attachments, you could upload any files again, or if I want to dictate it or just speak there. But I'm going to just type that in and hit the return key. And so it gives me some my results here. Starting at the top, it gives me the answer, but also if I want, I can just see, if you notice, it's giving me images and some videos, or some videos here. I can click on images and it gives me the images from my search, or it gives me the videos from my search separate, or if I want to go back to the answer. This kind of green line here, and also feel free, like I say, I'm just going through trying to go through all the different features and stop me if there's any questions or whatever. But this here, it says help improve our product, and I can compare. So it actually gives me two responses. And down at the bottom, now I'm not going to read all through this, but I can say I like the answer on the left better, or I like the response on the right better, or just neither answer is better. I'm just fine with it as it is. So I'm just going to say neither answer is better. But also, and Addie mentioned this, the other thing that's nice about um, Perplexity is that it gives you the sources or the citations. Where did they get the information from? And you can see here the text is like a little grayed out, the little tag there. That gives you the actual source of where it got that information. And down at the bottom, it's going to give me a list of the sources here, where it says there's 9 sources that were used to find the answer for this. Now, when you have the paid version, or if you do a deeper search, that 9 sources might be 20 sources, is looking deeper into finding information about whatever it is you're asking about. Um, the other thing is, and I'm just trying to cover all the icons. This first icon on the left here is if I want to share this with someone, I can actually, um, it gives me a link that I can send to someone to share it. I can export it. I can export it in different ways. I can export it as a PDF. I can export it as what's called a markdown. And a markdown is sort of like a web page that actually it creates that your browsers like Google Chrome or Safari or Firefox will open. Or I can export it as a Microsoft Word document. So those are some options to export it. If I click on sources, it shows me the sources that where this response came from. And if I want, I can go to any of those particular sources. Now, the sources also are in the citations in the body of the text, but they also gives me a list of all the sources. So I can just click on any one of those sources and it'll take me there to where it got that information for that particular response. So I'm just going to go back. It just opened up another tab there on my browser. And in the upper right-hand corner is a little X, so I'm going to close that out. So it shows you the sources. I'm sure this best. Okay. Uh, Actually, I hadn't noticed that before. This is model or best, but I don't want to tell you something wrong unless someone else knows. This first little thumbs up means yes, it's helpful, or no, it's not helpful. And what it's doing is learning based on your searches. It's learning from you. or if I want to copy it so I can paste it into some other document. And then the three little dots there gives you a report. And this is actually a report that would go to Perplexity. Maybe you found something that's not accurate or out of date or too long. So you can report it to Perplexity to again help them improve the application. Um, but at best, like I said, I was working with the free version, getting ready for the class, and I didn't notice that best before. I'm going to ask it in a bit. And then it also gives you some related links or related topics based on what you've asked about. Maybe sometimes it gives you some related. I have to warn you, it can be a rabbit hole because you do a search on something and then you do a related, and then that brings up more ideas. You do another related, and before you know it, you're like down the road 3 or 4 searches. But I like it because it does give you some more information about whatever it is you're looking up. So, any questions so far about any of this?
Nah, you doing
No.
great, bro.
Okay. Um, want to also, I think I'm gonna do, well, before we go into that, I want to go to the preferences. And if you had a follow-up question, then the prompt window down at the bottom lets you follow up uh, based on this particular thread. Now, one thing I did notice though too, because I chose the thread to search the web, I'm kind of stuck on searching the web for this thread. I can't change it to search research papers unless I start a new thread. And it even tells me here, start a new thread to change the sources. So I can do that. I just have to start a brand new thread. Um, you know, then just copy that. That also lets me go in and change it or copy it. And I'm gonna start a new thread, ask the same question, and just paste it in. But this time I'm gonna say, instead of a web, I'm gonna search academic papers. And I don't know what I'm gonna get. I'll find out. I'm gonna close this window out there too. Okay. Now you can also have several of these clicked or selected, but I'm just having academic papers selected right now. And we'll search the web for academic papers. And I noticed it didn't give me any videos for the academic papers. Let's see, it gives me some images though. But it gives me academic papers now. And again, it gives me the sources. Close that up. It gives me the sources of where that it got that information from. And you can see the citations again. The text is kind of highlighted. If you point to it, or if you go down to the bottom here, it gives you the sources. Now that time I used 18 sources for the responses I got. Okay. Going back to these tabs on the left here, like say this first plus sign is for creating a new thread. This home tab here gives you some things to look up for travel or shopping, academic or sports. But also here's your library. And so this gives you a list of all the things that you've been searching for in the past, and also your bookmarks down here at the bottom. You can bookmark a page when you do a search. Uh, Discovery, like, it gives you whatever's going on in the day. Spaces, and I'm gonna come back to spaces one more time because I want to cover some of the other basic things. I'm gonna go down to account. And when I go to the account, there's one thing down here at the bottom. So far, I've been searching with the Pro, but I can also search what's called incognito. And if you search incognito, it does not save the chat. It doesn't save your results. It doesn't so that it just doesn't keep a history of it if you want to do it incognito. But I'm going to go up here to account. And here it has some basic information like your name and email address and the plan that you have. if you want to delete the account. But on the left-hand side is where you can set your preferences, personalization, appearance. And here it says system light. Here we can make it dark. I just keep it to light. But you can change that or the language that you're using, the preferred language that you're using. Auto suggest, all that's doing is when you start typing, it's automatically suggesting what it is that you're trying to guess what you're doing next. And the model, this is where, oops, let me close that out. Go back to accounts. Preferences. Okay. The model is, in this case, is Perplexity, the image generation model. Okay, this is also image generation model is when it creates images, what AI application are you going to use to do that? I haven't tried Nano Banana or Seed Ream, but I have tried GPT and also Flux. I like Flux.
Yeah,
Uh,
me too. Just about to say that.
you
Flux
do?
is a better, yeah, definitely a better visual representation than the GPT image.
Yeah. And I'm gonna go ahead and make it. I'll change it to that. And upgrade to max. I won't be doing that. The upgrade to max is $200 a month, but that's where you can do that. And AI data retention.
Absolutely not. We won't be doing
No,
that.
not today anyway.
Nah, or tomorrow or next week. Like,
AI data retention, that's similar to searching incognito. Incognito does not keep the information on your computer. Data retention, if you turn that off, it does not keep the information on the server, on the Perplexity server. So that's where you can turn that off if you want. And this is under preferences. Uh, Personalization, you can introduce yourself, and um, this is, let me get my eyes here. Oh, one thing that it has is what's called a memory. You can tell Perplexity to remember something about yourself, or it doesn't have to be about yourself. It could be to remember something, and it will remember that when it gives you responses. And I thought this was a little unusual the way it does that. I'm gonna give you an example of how you tell Perplexity to remember something. I You have to literally type it in to remember. So I'm coming here, start a new thread, and it says, I have a YouTube channel about AI. I'm going to change that to a website. I have a website channel about AI. And then I type in, please save this information to memory. And when I submit it, it says your information about having a website is now noted and will be considered for future responses and recommendations. So you can tell, and I thought it was a little odd the way you have to type it in. It says, just type in, please save this information to memory, and it can remember things about you or about your business. And then the responses that you get will kind of reflect that based on what you put in the memory of it. Um, and just going back to the account, personalization. And here's where you can edit or manage your memories. Now, the other thing I noticed too, I put things in memory and I don't have to log out and then log back in, but I read somewhere too where it said sometimes things didn't happen right away. I don't know why. If it's not there tomorrow, I need to find out why. And anyway, this is where you can talks about memory. The assistant, I think this was an additional add-on, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you can try it for free, but that's an additional add-on in addition to the Pro plan that you have. That got of that. Task. This was something I discovered I really liked. Have either of you used Task at all?
No, I haven't.
This I found really useful. I gave it two tasks, just playing around with it. And what you can do, you can tell AI or a Perplexity to do something almost like a AI agent. And then whether you want it done daily or once daily, weekly, every weekday. And I told Perplexity to collect recent articles about how AI can benefit entrepreneurs. And I said to do it daily and send me a report. I said at 10 p.m. each day. Now, you can have it any day of the week. You can have it do it weekly. And then you can say how long you want it to go on for. And then it actually sent me an email once I saved that. I'm going to quit this here for a second and go to my email and show you what it sent me at 4:10 at exactly the right time at 4:10 p.m. Stop sharing that. And I'm going to share the email that it sent me. Okay. So this is what it sent. How AI empowers entrepreneurs and startups. And Perplexity task. This is the task that it sent me, and it says to view full response. I need to click here. And I'm going back and forth because of what it does. It takes me back now to my browser with recent articles about AI, how AI is benefiting entrepreneurs. So you can have it do anything to scour the web, give it a task, and come back and give you a report on a certain time. I thought this would be great for like um, if you have a podcast and you want what's the latest information about here is AI. It could be about anything. It could be about, Addie's a historian. It could be about Black history or anything that you want it to, or politics, what's going on with our government right now. And it will give you a report on a daily basis, or it could be daily at one time or weekly, however you set it up. And so that was under task. And you just basically tell it what you want it to do, and it does it. So I could see a number of uses for that. Um, so if I were to set it up, I'm just going to see if I can set up a new one here. There's a little plus sign here. And let's say scheduled, or the task is going to be any ideas? Um, report on the status of the U.S. shutdown. And I can say just give it to me once and tell it what day, or what time of day, and then it's going to send it me an email. But here's the model options. If I wanted to do a deep search, best search, or to search the web, my normal search options. So I'm just going to leave it at the web. But basically, I'm just telling it to give me a report on the shutdown each day. And I'll say first thing in the morning. It'll send me an email that's associated with my account on the status of the United States shutdown, government shutdown. And yeah, I'll just say daily, starting tomorrow. So, and if I have an end date, I could set the end date to it and save. So tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., I should get a report on what's going on with the government. Anybody that makes sense to everybody? Everybody's kind of quiet, so I just want to make sure you're all with me. Or any thoughts? That was you
That's
said
good information.
good.
I will be using that.
Yeah, and it's easy to set up too. Just tell it whatever it is that you want it to do.
No, same. I'm definitely gonna be looking.
Yeah. Um, Notifications, uh, updates when the research is complete. It just again lets you know if there's something that you've done, you've asked it to do, or financial digest. I didn't click on that. Connectors is where you can connect. I mentioned earlier you can connect your Google Calendar or your Gmail or Outlook, or it's got a Dropbox. So you can connect these things, these other apps, to your Perplexity application. And from your prompt, I know you can search your Google, your Gmail, or your calendar. I don't know, but I get like a lot of Gmail, I have a couple of emails, but the Gmail, I just get a lot of stuff. And sometimes it's hard for me to go find it. Or maybe I want to like get information that someone sent me. I know they sent it to me a while back, but I don't know where it is. I can actually have Perplexity go, if I have to get some keywords, give some guidance based on the Gmail to give me an answer to whatever question I'm looking for. So I haven't connected it, but it is there, and so I think I'm gonna play with that and see if that can help as well. Pro perks are a number of other applications that Perplexity has deals with that maybe you can get a discount. Like here, I see LegalZoom get 25% off LegalZoom services, or Thumbtack. I'm not even sure what that is, but get up to $275 off services on Thumbtack. So they just have deals with other companies, and some of these things you might be interested in, but they're there, and maybe some of these things you want to use. Uh, and Purchases. I didn't look at that. Let's see. Shop like a pro with Perplexity. I'm not going to go shopping right now. I'm going to close that out. Unless there's some of these things you always want to look at. And reservations, I did look this up. And hold on for a second because I need to go look at my notes. Okay. Reservations, I knew reservations works with Comet. It says they uh, appear to be related to an AI-based web browser and service called Comet. The company offered the browser. Let's see. I'm trying to give you a summary of it. The browser integrates with AI search engine, feature summarizing content emails. This indicates that Lexity, Lexity reservations might mean advanced signups or memberships for early access to. Bottom line is it works with Comet. And the explanation it gave me, I don't know if I understand it exactly, but it's something that works with connects Comet to to Perplexity. And then the enterprise version I mentioned is the $200 a month. And then the API, this also allows you to connect. It works with connect other applications to Perplexity. I have not tried to use this, but that's what it does. If anyone wants to look at some of these things that I don't know, I always tell people I don't know it all, but it will figure it out if it's something you look like you might need or want to be interested in. So, um, spaces, so that's what I want to get back to now. And under spaces, spaces are like collections or groups of different things based on a common topic. And so they give you some templates to work with also for spaces uh, of different things you might want spaces for. And maybe I'll show you an example of one to sort of make more sense. But I thought this one was a good one. An example, this is a space with Warren Buffett. And so you still do your searches, but you can have common searches about, in this case, about Warren Buffett, all collected in the same space under that space. And you can give your space instructions. So if I click on here, on that link, the instructions are, you are Warren Buffett. Any question you are asked, base your response on the Buffett letters saved in the space. Do it in the style of voice of Buffett in the investigating. I'm going to click on this edit button so I can see the whole thing. Investigating style of Buffett based on his shareholders' letters. And so what it's doing is, in this case, they use this as an example. There's some documents that have been uploaded from Berkshire Hathaway, but Warren Buffett's companies. And so the responses that you get in this space are going to be based on these documents and also this link. Does that make sense? So basically, you're saying, I want information, in this case, the way Warren Buffett would answer my questions. How is he, and you can set up documents you can set up links that these responses are, but it only applies to the prompts you conduct in this space. So I'm going to say, what types of stock should I invest in? I can spell.
So basically, what it seems like, Jimmy, this is kind of like as if you were in the room with him. You know what I'm saying? And if you got the chance to ask him a direct question, then this would basically symbolize how he would respond back to you. I'm assuming that's the
Right,
after prompting, then that's the response you would get. That's pretty
right,
cool.
right. Exactly.
So
Yeah,
it's
it's
kind of
like,
like a subject matter area almost, or a specialization area, if you will.
yeah, and
Um,
the instructions could be anything. Here they're using Warren Buffett, but it could be, uh, give me, you know, responses based on, and I use Black history because Addie's a historian, or give me responses based on, uh, you know, it could be almost anything, NFL football, it could be anything.
okay.
And but here I'm going to say, what type of stock should I invest in? I don't know the answer I'm getting. You still have the same options, whether you do a search, a deep research, or a lab, and then also how am I going to be using the web, academic, social. Now, also in this particular case, it's saying also to use those documents that have been submitted and the link. And so I'm going to go ahead and do the search. And it's giving me some sources already from Berkshire Hathaway, sources of where it's getting my response from based on the documents that have been uploaded for this space.
Oh, my question is, I guess then, in this particular space, I'm assuming that uh it's used data from him or maybe a repository of
Yeah,
him in order to provide things as if he would answer it in his tone and his
exactly.
expertise. Got you.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
it's using responses based on the files that were uploaded in that space.
Got
So
you.
another way to use it would be, when you um, get a new application, and usually always there's terms of use that nobody ever reads because they're like really
Right.
long.
Right.
But what if you put those terms of use in, the PDF of those terms of use, or for maybe your insurance, which we don't read until we get sick, put that term, and then when you query it is based on the document that you've uploaded, you know, what are my dental benefits based on this document? So I don't have to go
Mm-hmm.
read the whole thing. Is pulling information. How do I apply for a claim? It could be almost anything um,
Gotcha.
that you give for that particular space, and then you can share it just like you would normally. If I want to share this, um, let's say space, I can share it private is only me, but I can share it to others. Anyone in your space can view, and you can put people in your space or link copies. You can copy the link and send the link to people as well. I'm going to go back to spaces again.
And so can you basically, I guess, choose whatever you want and it's basically, is it the first prompt that I guess tells it to upload certain documentation in the repository? Or do
Well,
again for me, how do you initially set up a space?
okay, let's create
Right.
a space. Where here it says spaces, and we can see over the left, it says create a new space.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna create a new space. It's a brand new space. There's nothing, it has no instructions at this point at all. But here at the top, it says I can add files, I can add links, and I can add instructions. I can give this
Okay.
space a name. Um, any ideas? I'm trying to think of something to name it.
Do financial literacy. Or you need a person.
No, it's just the name of the space, so I'll know what it's
Okay.
about. It doesn't have to be a person, but I can add files. If you had PDFs of, it could be
Gotcha.
a book, a PDF of a book. It could be a PDF of almost anything. It can add links based on, um, a website that I want to have. I want to have the responses based on the information on this particular website at this link. I can give it instructions. I can add instructions. And
Okay.
instructions, before it was like answer as if you're Warren Buffett. Uh, I can say, it says always respond in a formal tone. They just give you an example, but I can say always respond at the level of a 10th grader or something to keep it simple.
Okay.
But it could be, again, just like AI, like really it's whatever your imagination come up with. Uh,
Right. So does
yeah,
it basically work to it's leaning towards it's only going to draw information from whatever you upload, or does it also still pull from I guess it's learning
it still
algorithm?
it still pulls from it still pulls from the web, academic,
Okay.
social. If I have these on, and now if I
If
turn
you
these off, it probably only pull from those documents that I
what
uploaded.
you get.
I didn't
Okay.
upload any documents for this particular space, but
Gotcha.
yeah, but you're still deciding where you're going to pull the information from. And also you will just still can decide how it's going to be working, like ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, this is also if I'm searching the web or actually where it says all time,
Oh, yeah.
that means how far back do I want it to go to find this information? Do I want it to
Gotcha.
go, last week, last month, last year, or today? What's the time frame of this how far back do I want it to search? Um,
That is very useful, actually.
it
Um,
yeah,
Especially if you have something dated. So I also do like wholesaling. So typically when you're doing comparables of, house value or cost, then you don't want to go past a certain amount of time. You know what I'm saying? With the changing market, about 6 months tops. But you don't want the pull of pricing to be from 4 years ago, right? When the market was totally different. So I could just imagine when you're, how you can manipulate this for your own, personal whatever you're trying to achieve. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Um, and I know this is not probably not a good example that I'm using, but I hope you're getting an idea. Ella and Eddie, does this make sense with spaces? What?
It does to me. I
Yeah.
have already written down the different spaces that I'm going to create.
Okay. Okay.
On it.
I've got about three of them so far.
And what happens is that you're actually creating a thread in that space.
Mm,
So here I just put, how can I create a financial budget since this is a financial space? And here I'm going to follow up, say, tell me more about uh, tracking. But it's still all in the same space, the financial space.
yeah, that's great though. What were you gonna say, Ella?
No, I
Ellery, go
said
ahead.
what I say.
Yeah, I didn't know if, yeah, were you going to say something?
No, you go ahead.
Okay. Well, if I go over here to spaces now, here's my financial literacy space. Here's another example, sermons. I was working with the pastor. And so the sermons could be based on a particular religion to help her create sermons based on, and she was a Christian, but it could be based on Muslim, or, it could be whatever based, searching the area and giving her a sermon. Uh, I think we may have put in a verse. Yeah, Matthew chapter 3, verses 1 through 5. So it gave her a sermon based on that scripture.
Now,
And
did
so,
it give a certain Bible, or
well,
did you
we
ask for?
put that in the prompt, but the space was for sermons, so she could have another sermon next week.
Mhm.
It could be another thread for another sermon next week, but it will still be in that sermon space. Make sense?
Awesome. Yeah.
So that
So basically, with the threads, though, is that the individual prompt? So let's say you just put a prompt in now, right?
mhm.
Um, that creates a thread, and so every time you issue a new prompt, does it create another thread,
Yeah,
or
or
is
no,
there a
or
way for you to differentiate?
yeah, it creates another thread. If I want to go back to this one, I
Gotcha.
would click on that thread and that opens that thread.
Copy, and then
But
you could just continue from there.
yeah, but if I wanted a brand new thread, maybe for a new sermon for based on a new uh,
A
you
new
know,
verse,
a new
something.
verse, right? Then
Mm-hmm.
I can say, uh, I don't know,
1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 8.
First Corinthians.
13, 4 through 8.
And so here's your sermon. So you can use that as a basis for the sermon. Now, if I go back to the sermon space, now I've got two threads. So the two separate threads. This one's about First Corinthians. This one is on Matthew chapter 3. But if I want
Mm-hmm.
to do a follow-up on First Corinthians, I would go back to that thread and do it for any follow-up on that one. But they're all in the sermon space because they're all based on sermon. And for the sermon space, I can give it some information about how I want to provide information that a pastor could use. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
that was just real quick, but it could be, you know, provide a sermon based on the fact that I'm in Durham, North Carolina. It could be almost anything, related to uh, relate the sermons to what's going on in today's world. So I'm giving it some guidance as not only the verse, but how to frame the response a little bit. Um,
Helpful.
but I like the task and the spaces are the two things that really jumped out at me that I really liked for spaces. And um, so there's some similarities with these programs, one with the other, but also Perplexity definitely they're calling it the Google killer. I don't know if any of you heard of that.
I have actually.
Because people are preferring Perplexity over Google because it gives them, if you Google usually gives you a link to go you gives you a list of links to go look at. But Perplexity gives you the information plus the source. You can still go back and look at it, but gives you more information. Um, so anyway, those are spaces where you can make your spaces private, or you can make it. These are some spaces that they give you. Some I made, some they just give you to start with, like the one with Warren Buffett. They give you some examples down there. Um, but you can also make them public as well. And let's see here. Yeah, share. Anyone with the link could view that particular space, where you can make it private so only you see that space. Um,
Jimmy, what is templates?
Templates are examples of spaces that they give you. Like if maybe we mentioned finance earlier, so they give me some templates on financial spaces that I can use. Here's the one that says, what would Buffett say? You can see that one right down there. S&P transcripts. So here's one. Maybe you want a space about technology. They gave you some things to start off with. Crypto coin explorer. Uh, get started with Perplexity. Let's see what this one does. Now here's the space. I'm going to click. I'm just clicking on this gray area so I can see what are the instructions. And here's the instructions. It says you are a friendly and knowledgeable Perplexity product expert. When a user describes what they're trying to accomplish, your job is to recommend the best ways. Won't let me open it up further though. Files, no files included, but it does give me some links. They give me a link to Perplexity Help Center and a Perplexity uh, change log. So probably the Help Center, I'm assuming. Yeah. So it gives you links to that for that particular space. But that's what the templates are. They give you starter spaces, if you want to think of it like spaces that you can use without and examples too of how they're being used. Um, yeah. I'm going to come back to a new thread and um, I'm going to go back to this. How does the automobile engine work? And this search, these searches will give just it does deeper research. It gives you a more thorough answer. It searches more, instead of searching maybe 18 sites, it might search literally 100 sites before it gives you the answer. But before I do that, because that really just gives me an answer, I'm going to go to labs because this one is, I think, really different. And have any of you used the labs? at all?
No, I haven't.
No,
I have not.
have not. It gives you almost like you can have Perplexity perform a project for you. And one of the things I did, I said create a startup plan for a new um, auto repair business. Now, I did take it takes a while to do this, and you can still have it search the web, academic, social media, but I'm going to start it. It'll tell me how long it's going to take. It says, oh, 9 minutes. Um, I'm gonna let it run for a few minutes, but it creates like an entire plan with charts and graphs. It's like, oh, it's going, oh, it says 4 minutes, 5 minutes. I was going to stop it, but it's moving a little faster.
I have a question about tasks, but would that apply to this at all?
No, this is labs, but we can go back and look at task. Task is where you can have Perplexity do something and report back to you on a regular basis or one time.
Okay, and what about the difference in that and an agent?
It's actually similar. It's a form of an AI agent. It's just built into Perplexity. AI agents, well, it's a form of an agent, but AI agents typically will, okay, for example, I had an AI agent with LinkedIn, and it was basically, I would tell it to monitor these LinkedIn profiles. I gave it 25 LinkedIn profiles. And if they have a post, I wanted my AI agent to read the post and make a comment on my behalf. So it's not only finding it, but that AI agent was also taking action on my behalf. I stopped it because it was making comments. Now you can give some guidance what kind of comment to make. You want your comment to be friendly, professional, whatever. Uh, but I didn't want people receiving comments that I'm making that I really didn't make.
Right. And
You
it didn't
know,
sound like you either.
well, you can give us some guidance to kind of make it sound like you, but still, I did it for a month just to try it out. I saw someone else was using it, but I decided to stop it because it was making, and it was working. And what was happening is because it was making all these comments 24/7 on other people's posts, then my LinkedIn uh, followers and my LinkedIn connection started going up because I'm constantly commenting on other people's stuff, and people are seeing my LinkedIn profile and they were like clicking back on me. And so it really, and that was the whole purpose to increase my LinkedIn uh, connections. And it was working, but I didn't feel comfortable with it, making comments on stuff that I never saw before, you know. And they were all positive, generic comments, so it wasn't anything bad. But still, if someone had asked me, "Oh, thanks for the comment," I wouldn't have known what they were talking about unless I had gone back. I can go back and look at those comments, you know. But if I wasn't diligent about monitoring that, so I just stopped it after a month. But yeah, it is a type of AI agent. Um,
So it can go find articles and time it like you said.
yeah, and that was just one example. Really, you could have it do whatever the program is able to do. You can assign it a task. And in my case, I was thinking like, go find articles based on a particular topic. And I said entrepreneurship. It's almost done. It says 2 minutes. But we can go back and look at task as well.
Well, you answered my question, but I'm just
Okay.
thought about it. I didn't want to interrupt anything.
Well, that was a good question because right now I'm just waiting for it to wrap up with this lab. Like I say, labs is the only thing I've used in Perplexity that takes a while. Everything else seems like right away. But the answer is like really, really thorough. There's 9 steps completed. Okay. So here it is. Here's the answer. What the assets are. You can see these are all types of information, expense category, the phases, expense category, let's see, by the month. And now the prompt was create a startup plan for a new auto repair business. And so it's giving me auto repair shop startup plan, executive summary, key financial parameters, initial investment range. Now you can be specific too. If you can say, uh, based on a particular budget. And now my prompt was very short and generic, but you can be very specific on your prompt as to maybe the location, your budget, maybe the types of services you want to provide. But it's giving you the top 10 auto repair startup costs. It says insurance, marketing, parts inventory. But you get the idea, business structure and legal foundation, limited liability, recommended for most shops, S corporations, sole proprietorship. It's quite lengthy. Federal requirements, additional permits, strategic location factors, there's demographics and market analysis, compensation analysis. So it's really long here. Equipment and technology investment, that what you'll need to start it up, vehicle lifts, diagnostic equipment. But if you think about it, if you were starting, in this case, auto repair shop, think of all the time it's saving, even if you don't use it verbatim, all the time it saves that somebody would have to do that research if you're going to really think it through. But it's just giving you so much information within, in this case, 9 minutes, but still, uh, man, still going on and on. Okay.
Yeah, that's dope. I love the graphical data.
Mhm.
Yeah. And oh, it gives you a break-even point when you expect to break even. And again, this is based on generic startup information because I wasn't specific. But if you're more specific about your prompt, then you can get a much, man, this is long. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it.
You have to have AI condense it, right?
You could, yeah, yeah.
Those paragraphs aren't too long, though.
So anyway, but you get the idea. And that's the labs, but they do take a while to create a lab. Um,
That could probably apply for most businesses to change out the type of business.
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, and here I just said a business, but it could be a lab for anything. It doesn't have to be starting a business. It could be, you know, uh, whatever project you can think of.
Yeah, but I was saying this is a good business plan for
Yeah.
whatever business.
Yeah.
I guess a restaurant would be a little different from an internet business, but it would still need some of those things.
And it gives you the sources again. Um, and then it gives you all the graphs and charts that's using assets. Okay, give me some code in there as well. Uh, oh, it's got the outline, phase one, phase two. it gave me the Python code for it. I don't know Python, but Python's a programming language.
So is that coding at the bottom?
Yeah, it says Python
Python coding. Okay.
right here.
Right, I saw that, but that's coding. The rest
Right.
is coding. Okay.
Just gave me the code for these particular charts.
This puts me in the mind of a YouTube video that I did not click on, but it was saying that there are just a boom in people completing their PhDs now, where it used to be one or two, now it's 28. And I'm seeing very clearly how that can happen.
Right, right,
Yeah, definitely,
right.
definitely.
Well,
I mean, I think that it's nothing wrong if people use it um the way they should use it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was never meant to um like to take the place of us doing our own research. You know. So I remember like a few years ago, actually like 2 years ago, I went to this forum and basically they were introducing AI, and actually it was in DC, and it was talking more about literacy, and there was a bill that we wanted passed for child literacy because of the, you know, the low literacy rate across the nation. But one of the things that was mentioned is there was a lot of pushback on AI because the children, you know, are using it basically to do their homework as opposed to supplement. You
right,
know what I'm saying? Their own knowledge and learning and resource, and like research and everything. So I think like same type of deal. I fall victim to it too. Sometimes when I gotta get an email out real quick, I'll throw it in somebody's AI and be like, spit me out an email real quick. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to expend the brain power at that particular moment. And all I have to do is read it over as opposed to figuring out and, you know, strategically placing the words myself. So like,
right.
I get it. I definitely, I understand. I too understand.
Well, let me just share with you, many years ago, I taught sociology. And one of my assignments was in terms of doing your research. I sent them to the basement of Duke University
Oh
Library
my
for
goodness.
journal references.
Oh
I don't even,
man.
yeah, and because I had spent many hours going through journals in that basement.
Yup.
I don't think that there are many people down there today.
Man, yeah,
Yeah,
no, I trust me, I get it. I mean, that you saying that is crazy because it reminds me of when remember when we had to go to the library and like all of the news articles they had on this big like a
yeah,
huge dinosaur of a computer that we would be able to pull up and see the news articles from like years ago and everything like that. Like now things are so advanced, like all you got to do is put it in, you know, somebody put it in Perplexity and ask them to search for things 20 years ago or 25 years ago, and it could basically bring you up the sources and everything like that. So yeah, my how times have changed.
Absolutely.
well, I've heard it said too that technology, AI, has eliminated book covers. And when I first heard that, I was like, because the
Yeah,
information, it doesn't matter where it is when you search for it. It doesn't matter what book it's going to that page on that in that book, wherever, you know, or that magazine, wherever the source is, the article to pull back the information. So
yeah.
when I first heard that, like, what do you mean it eliminates book covers? It doesn't matter where it is.
Well, you you mentioned child literacy. I started a nonprofit in Durham over 20 years ago called Read Seed, where we gave
Awesome.
books to children so that they
Okay.
could love reading and be prepared for their academic future. Now, what are we hearing? Children cannot read.
Mm.
At all. At all. It's yeah, it's really sad too. Even like I was just talking about that particular workshop that I went to in DC. It was basically to speak to the senator, it was basically to speak to the administrators across the land because of the fact that, just to your point, statistics show that across the nation, like not only just children, but some adults don't read above a fourth grade reading level. In North Carolina, they don't read above a third grade reading level, and this was in 23. This was in actually, I'm lying. This was last year in 2024. I went in April 2024. And just to, to your point, is crazy because that's one of the reasons that I kind of founded the organization as well. And here recently I've started doing like storybooks. And it's basically to appeal to that and encourage reading, right? Because I think with the technology is amazing, right? But our kids, with the click here and the screen time all the time, they don't read, they skim, they, you know what I'm saying, they do everything but read, it seems like. They look
Right.
at the pictures, like, you know what I mean. So it's kind of horrible, and I too, like, I would love to bring back a time when it was like a good book. I remember that. I remember making book covers out of newspaper, out of like construction paper. I remember doing that. And
Absolutely.
like children now, they don't get that same like wholesome, just fun and enjoyment of
Yeah.
being able to, all everybody had the same book, and so you had to be able to distinctly identify yours from a glance, right?
Hmm.
But these kids don't get that because they always on an iPad, they always on a phone, or doing something. Even now, like if you notice, most colleges and stuff like that, even that, you don't remember how it used to be. You had to pay for books and tuition and all that. You don't even got to get no books. Everything is an online repository.
Yeah.
Like it's it's
Wow.
it's a little, it's crazy because now what it does, I think, and I've noticed it myself, is it may be more convenient. I agree with that. I agree with, I can be anywhere. I could be in a doctor's office and I could read, you know what I'm saying, my book online, and I don't have to carry it around. So I get it. But at the same time, what is it doing to our eyesight? Like, you know, the fact that the majority of the day we are looking at a screen, you know what I'm saying, and our eyes have to adjust based on the amount of light that's coming off of our screen, a comparison with the light that's in the room. Like, some of the things, it's like, it just reminds me of the fact that just like in regular finances, there's always an opportunity cost, right? We
Hmm.
get such great benefits on one side, but like on the other side, it's kind of messing us up a little bit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think everything comes with its good and its bad. And it's like, some things, unfortunately, you have to experience the bad. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? There's no way to get around, like we were just talking about with this book thing, or the lack of books. I am impressed with the fact that there are still some like Barnes and Nobles. I remember when they closed most of them.
Hmm.
Um and that was like, I'm honestly, I don't really like to read necessarily. Okay, I'm a tech person. But Barnes and Noble was just so comforting and calm, right? If nothing else, than to go sit there and have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee and be just surrounded by serenity was amazing for me personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, once we did the whole tech switch, most of them are closed now. You might find one or two around, but even that, I think it's no longer appreciation for literacy either, unfortunately,
We got to bring it back.
We
Jimmy,
do.
could
Uh,
you put in a question in? What
oh,
is the impact of on eyesight of uh, your question?
yeah.
More.
Um,
More. what is the
So,
impact on eyesight from uh,
Um, using
yeah,
uh,
using
from continuous hours of using digital devices.
while
I,
he's typing that in, I still have hundreds of books for
Mm.
children of all ages. Let's talk.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, let's please do. Let's do that for sure. Let's definitely do
well, I
that.
can tell you what the result is. I got retina tears.
You said
Seriously, I had
you
to go
said
to
you
the
could tell it better than she did than Perplexity.
I had to go to I had developed floaters, and on my left eye, I
Mm,
had a couple of retina tears that they had to laser my eye. So now I use eye drops, and I have to take more breaks.
good grief.
Uh, but
Digital eye strain.
I've
Eye
been doing it
strain.
for decades, and yeah. But yeah, and it catches up on you with you. But this is the what a respond that
Computer
says.
vision syndrome. Wow. Yep. Digital eye strain. That sounds about right. Go down a little bit for me, Jimmy. I'm curious now myself. Oh man.
This is the
Yeah.
beauty. This is the beauty of AI. The answer is right.
It's
It's seconds away.
yeah. I mean, that's just what
Here,
like what I was saying,
the
right? You gotta
dry
take
eyes.
the
This is
bad
what
with
I
it.
have here, dry eyes. That
Listen,
they gave me.
just to even get the knowledge, right? We are further perpetuating this, right? In
Right.
order to get the answer. But how else? Who is going where else are we gonna go and get this knowledge in 2 seconds and it
Right.
be readily available for us? Nowhere else. We
Stop
have
right.
to.
Go back up, Jimmy. No, wait a minute. Right there. The children we were talking
Mm,
about.
Mm.
Developing or worsening of nearsightedness, particularly in children.
mm,
Oh. So we know all the kids of nowadays definitely in 10 to 20 years they're gonna wear glasses.
yeah.
Absolutely. Everybody. See, they're gonna wear glasses. They have to. It's
Wow.
crazy. Even my granddaughter, she'll be 9, and she used to be pretty good, but here recently she doesn't like her glasses. But about a year and a half ago now, she has to wear glasses. Like she's supposed to wear them all the time. Like, and I don't know if it's attributed to this, but I promise you, we couldn't separate her when she was little from her iPad. I mean, we couldn't go anywhere. If the iPad was lost, we were staying in the house because we couldn't go anywhere until her iPad and her baby. Like that's
Mm,
all she cared about. If they was good, even now, she will leave the baby home. Her iPad has to go with her in the car, even if we're
mm.
just going to the store. It's a little ridiculous,
A
but
two a 2 year old in church with an iPad.
oh my goodness.
Wow.
Oh
Parents,
wow. Yeah, that's oh man, this is what we live in. I mean,
So it's
Geez,
a,
I would
so
love
it's
to,
a
I'm gonna have to
consider
go play with
parent.
Perplexity and do a lab for this because I want to see graphs and charts and I want to see all of that
Right.
um, on this particular subject. I don't know for what. Now I'm just intrigued. See now, thank you because now you done opened a little rabbit hole for me that I'm about to fall down into um, for no apparent reason, right? But listen, it seems interesting right now, so I'm gonna go with
Yeah.
it.
Couple things I was going to say. One, I kind of covered everything basically, but I didn't know if what I typically do is like let the audience, okay, now and you all can do this, create a space or create a task just to do it. The other thing before I forget too is completely separate from this. Let me go up to another tab here. This is a leadership, and Cash, you might be familiar with this. A business financial leadership conference is going to be
Mhm.
this Thursday. Are you there? You gonna be?
Yeah, I saw it. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to be out there though.
Okay. Well,
That was the only thing, but I did come across it.
the couple that's putting this on is Sherelle and Derek James is their name, and
Okay,
and she had some extra tickets, so she reached out to me yesterday and said
nice.
she wanted to give. She gave me some comp tickets, and I've been trying to give away the comp tickets, but everybody that I talked to, they're like, man, I can't do it in 2 days. This Thursday, and so they all had conflicts. So
If
I'm
you got a ticket for me, is what you're
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Most definitely.
Well,
Yeah. I mean,
she gave me a link and a comp
okay.
ticket, and so this is the event. And I was looking. It's normally like 225, I think, is the price. I don't see. Oh, here, purchase tickets. Now she said until the comp tickets are gone, so I don't know who else she gave the link to. But if you want, I can put your information in and I can see.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. If you could, I mean, yeah, I could. I would try. I would definitely move some things around because I sure saw it and
okay.
was like, oh, that might be a wealth of information. Because
Uh,
I have more of a B2B model, and so I would just love to
ticket.
kind of be in the room for real. To be real honest.
Yeah, see, they're 225 a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh, one is sold out. The $10,000 sold out. Let's skip that one.
Wow.
All right,
Wow.
let's see here.
Addie, are you going?
No.
I'm just copying your names to make sure I spell it right and everything.
Okay. Appreciate that. Yeah, I hope it worked. Please let it work.
And add the coupon code. I think that was it. Yep, total
But
0.
though,
So, uh, yeah, there's a total of
nice.
0. And so, gotta put this in again. I'm toggling back and forth here. And is it financial
Yeah.
boss?
Financial boss. Yeah. Capital BOSS.
All of it capitalized?
Please. Thank you.
Okay. And let's see, founder. I
Yeah.
assume you're founder. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what's your phone
My
number?
phone, 862-227-2498.
Okay. You agree to, we're not going to read it. Anyway, so you should get the email, a ticket in
Hold
your
on.
email.
I'm about to check it right now. Thank you so very much.
Yeah, well, she
Yeah,
told me
that would be
I don't
great.
know how many comp tickets she had because she gave this out to others, but she knew about our group Every Dot Black, and she's been a part of our group for years, and she just said, Jimmy, I got free tickets if you want to invite some people. So she said, but when they're gone, they're gone. So I don't know. She didn't tell me how many she had, but at least got one more. So yeah, but most of the people I reached out to, they're like either they weren't local or they were
Okay. Yeah, no, I have to be out there that evening. I'm actually going to a small business summit out actually in Durham. So I'll kind of be in the area. So yeah, I will strategically move everything else
Yeah, it's at
to
the
make sure.
Briar Creek Country Club. It's a nice facility.
Yeah, it looks amazing. Yeah, I get to dress up a little bit. That's awesome.
And yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, thank you. Y'all, did you guys have any other questions or anything like that?
I'm good. I have many tasks, homework assignments, but I'm excited because, this paradigm shift we're so used to putting our heads in the books and
Yeah.
figuring things out. And AI is just tearing that apart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
AI is saying if you can type it, we can
Right.
find it for you.
Right.
that part, like, no, seriously. I am gonna just give you guys. I'm gonna drop a link in the chat. If you guys could just fill it out, it's just basically a small survey, little Google form, a few questions just for you to answer. Like, just how informational was it? If you guys enjoyed it, if it was something that that you liked about it, if it was something that you didn't like about it. If you could just basically comment on that. Um, Let me know how everything went, and also if there's anything that you want to see like in the future or whatever, that would be helpful as well.
And
So,
since we're a small group, and Ellen at EC gonna be at a fourth session. If you're using Perplexity between the next 2 weeks and something else comes up, just bring it back. We'll look at, if there's something that you looked at or did, get a snag or something, or you just want to share something. Maybe you have some ideas that we hadn't covered or some new ways to use it, then please share, and then we can either look at it. Because right now it's just a small group. I don't know who else going to be here in 2 weeks, but right now we know the four of us will be.
yeah, I think that would be actually great to do is like when we come back in 2 weeks, to kind of do just a little, not get in
Or
total
review
detail, but yeah, just do a little bit of review. Because ultimately what I would love to do is be able to compare all of them. You know what I'm saying? And just be able to kind of give you guys basically a little sheet or a graph, or basically like what you would use to do what, and what would like some of the highlights and everything that we kind of mentioned. So I'm gonna go over a couple of things just to kind of round us out, to kind of like take us out this evening. So like, Perplexity is great, right? We learned a lot. I think before I even do that, I want to ask you guys, what stood out for you most? Because I mean, all of us have kind of used it, you know what I'm saying, to a little bit. But what stood out for you most about Perplexity that you definitely gonna use in the future?
Everything.
No, that's right.
See, you don't know me, but Jimmy does. Uh,
Okay,
everything I know in tech, I've
right.
learned from Jimmy.
Got you. Okay, all right,
Okay,
cool.
so
Okay.
I am this is a computer, and the mouse is not going to bite you person.
Got you. All right. All
So
right.
with Perplexity, I knew enough to put in a few questions and a few statements and ask them create a marketing plan.
Okay.
That's it.
Nice. All right.
Everything
That's a
I've
lot.
learned
But you know,
tonight,
see,
Yeah.
everything
that's
I've learned
big
tonight
though.
is like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm down there at the bottom of the mountain, but
No, but that's amazing.
I'm like Martin Luther King. I can see the mountain top.
I like that. I like that. What about you, Ella?
Well, I've used it a little bit to help. Um, I'm trying to write a second book. I wrote a children's book, and I'm trying to write a second book.
Ooh,
And telling
nice.
me the outline and how to put it together, because I'm trying to take three books and make it into one, get things out of these three books, and it's telling me what format to use.
Okay,
That type
nice.
of thing.
All
I
right. Yeah,
know
that's
you
pretty.
wrote a children's book.
Yeah, see, look at that.
Please,
The book
please
about
be in touch with me.
Mr.
Like,
Nutley's book. It's on. It's on. Jimmy's got it up on my. What is it? It's in the directory
Stop. Yeah. Yeah. On your profile page.
on my
oh
profile page.
wow. Yeah, come on. We gotta connect and do something like
Yes,
um
yes, yes.
yeah, this was great. Not only just me and you guys, but like just to learn some things. I think some of my key takeaways were like the labs. So like I said, my background is kind of tech and I love analytical data. So like the labs and the graphs, oh man, that lit my eyes up. I'm gonna be honest. Okay,
Okay.
so if I wasn't really a fan of Perplexity before, now I am gonna figure out things to put in it just so I could get it to spit out a graph and a table for me. Okay, I promise you. So I will report back when we see each other on what I got it to visually and graphically describe for me. Okay, I'm gonna share that with y'all. I think the other part was the spaces, which I found very useful, and that
Mm,
it being a dedicated room because I've talked about that before and how sometimes with other AIs, when you do like a regular thread or you start prompting, a lot of times, even if you fed it already information about you or connected your media sources, still kind of give you a generic information. I feel like
right.
I was talking to somebody and I told them I feel like chat it kind of has Alzheimer's. You know what I'm saying? Like when because you talk to chat 1 minute and they'll be like, okay, do it on this day 3 times a day and do this. And then like after 2 prompts, it's like, nah, do it at this time 2 times a day. And I'm like, that's not what you just told me. And they'd be like, oh, my apologies. And then it'll give you something totally different, right? So
Yeah.
I could foresee where the spaces would be more useful, right, in order to keep certain information correlated and combined, consolidated in one particular area. So I'm looking forward to being able to do that and like add some links and um some files and kind of playing with the spaces. So I kind of like that. So just to kind of close us out, guys. First of all, thank you, Jimmy.
Sure. No,
Appreciate
thank
your
you.
time, appreciate your expertise, and you even agreeing to do this. Like for real, that's huge, and I thank you. I'm learning a lot already. I can't wait to see what's in store for our next 3 sessions. So I'm really looking forward to it. When I started Financial Boss, it was basically just about giving kids the tools that they needed in order to make better decisions, right? Better financial decisions. It was also to kind of help them think critically about money, about feeling confident, managing it. Like that's the main goal and the mission of Financial Boss. And then over time, like I really realized also that the other part of that is that adults need these same tools,
Yeah.
right? Just kind of in a different way though, right? Like um I kind of feel that it's not just about managing money. It's also about managing information, and that's what we kind of talked about tonight. That's one of the reasons that I wanted to do this 4-part series, talking about AI and the workshop formation. And it was because like tools like Perplexity aren't just about getting a quick memory, right? It's about teaching us how to think critically, like I mentioned, to ask better questions, better prompts. I'm in another AI program where I'm trying to get certified on prompting.
Hmm.
How important it is that we verify our information as well, that we feed in the right information to get the results that we want. And also about like, what I realize is like these same skills, this is what I teach kids. It's how when we're talking about saving and spending and giving wisely, it's about that same critical thinking. It's about the same um, availability of information in order for them to make better informed decisions. So whether it's financial literacy or digital literacy, right? For me, I think it all comes down to empowerment, and that's something that I'm big on. Like learning how to just I would say take control of our resources, whether that is physical and tangible as far as money is concerned, or whether it is learning some digital platform that is going to make our lives much better. Right. I feel that the more confident that we are with technology and with certain aspects of knowledge, that the better we can lead other people, especially the next generation, like we've been talking about. Right. I'm big on the kids. I see that y'all are too. Right. So that's amazing. And I also feel that like the better equipped that we are for this next generation, it goes across everything, not just financially for me, but it's also digitally, intellectually, like, it taps into all so many things. So like, I don't know, I feel like at the end of the day, Perplexity isn't just a tool. Um, it's for me, it's a reminder that knowledge is power, right? We say
Yeah.
that all the time. And it really is. And the ability to gain it, the ability to maintain it extremely important. Whether we're talking about money or like information like that we were talking about today, for me, the goal is the same. It's to have us confidently do it, to pique our curiosity, and to also have us have the greatest amount of control over a world that is changing without our permission.
Yeah.
Right? That's exactly what we've been talking about today. Whether we want to get on board or not, we have been mandated. Like this is what's happened, and it's kind of like a train passing in front of us, right? Either we are going to hop on or we're going to get left on the platform.
I was gonna say, I
And
thought you were gonna get
so
run over.
well, we're gonna get, I mean, that too. That is always an option, right? And I feel like that's, for me, like that's a good way how we all become bosses in our own right, right? So I appreciate you guys supporting the series, and I look forward to seeing y'all on the next one. I do ask, like I mentioned, if you could like fill out the feedback so that we know how to improve going forward, and if there's anything else that you would like, to do a collaboration on, that you would like Financial Boss to do, or if you wanted some more information, then, I'll also like drop the website and all of that type of stuff. But I am really looking forward to seeing you guys in 2 weeks when we
Okay.
talk about Claude.
And
And we get to
also,
learn all the great stuff that Claude does. For
two things I want to say too. Cash, feel free to come, but we
sure.
meet every Monday night too on the same
Yeah, the
Zoom link.
mastermind. I keep
Yeah,
missing it, bro. I
yeah,
know I keep missing
7:50.
it.
Yeah. And then the other thing is for all of us for the next 2 weeks, just tell somebody about these sessions as well.
Right,
If we can get
definitely.
double the number of people in the room next week or 2 weeks, so or
Yeah,
triple it.
that
Yeah.
would be dope. I'm definitely gonna
Yeah,
post up some more on social media. I got a couple of other things going on, but this one we kind of got together pretty quick. We only started telling
right,
people about it last week. So
right.
now, since the flyer has been up, and I also am dropping individual flyers. So I just put one out just on Perplexity, and then I'm gonna do another one for Claude in the next couple of days. I'm definitely gonna do some feedback in a little portion of this video as well, just to show like people what they missed and why they need to be in the room. You know what I'm saying? Over the span of the next couple of weeks. So yeah, this has been dope. Like thoroughly enjoyable,
Good.
extremely informational, and like just a great time, man. For real, it was a great Tuesday night. To let me say
Okay.
that.
let me let me say that I found out about this through the E3 information.
Okay, yeah, I'm a member of
So
E3 Durham, so I
yeah,
posted in there.
well, that's where I know you from when the
Yes.
last Thursday, well, the night that you were introduced and
Yes.
in the
Yeah,
group.
when I had completed the left tech accelerator,
Right,
and
that was
yeah,
very
and we were able
impressive.
to present and set up tables. Yeah, amazing. I haven't been over there in a little bit. I actually had knee surgery about a month, no, about 2 months ago now. And so I haven't been able to actually get out there, but now I'm better. Like I've been going from crutches to a cane to now I'm walking independently.
Oh, good.
So feeling much better. This next third Thursday for this month, I actually won't be at. My granddaughter will be turning 9. And so I decided to take her and my daughter to Dominican Republic to celebrate her
Oh,
ninth birthday. So I'm really looking forward to that. But I will be back at third Thursdays in December 18th. It's already on my calendar. I will definitely be there. But Addie, I got your information. I definitely want to link up with you before. I'm doing an
Absolutely.
event, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, yeah, I'm doing an event. The storybook that I was talking about, I actually used. We're gonna get into it. I actually use like Gemini storybooks, and I used a little bit of Claude, because I created an app for children between the ages of 5 to 9. So that's why I asked you about the coding on Claude, because I actually manipulated code, some code with Claude to help me configure the games that I also offer as a part of the app. So yeah, it's I've been using AI. I've been doing a lot of different things, but mostly, all it's about is just empowering people. And so that's one of the things I'm doing. Also, is like if you guys are connected to young people, especially between the ages of 8 to 12. I'm actually running out this storybook. I created it first using Gemini as an audio book, but after that, once I get kind of the proof of concept going, then I'm going to be able to actually make it an actual printed book.
Okay.
So that's kind of what I'm doing now, is doing like a pilot and testing. I'm actually going to be piloting at the library, Durham Main Library.
Oh,
And
okay.
I'm also going to be at, you guys familiar with A Plus?
I'm not.
They're in Durham also. So it's, what they basically do is they help children of all ages pass tests. So
Okay.
whether that be the yearly exams or the SATs, the ACTs, that's what they focus on. So they have an actual location in Durham, and they are, nice enough to let me use the facility in order to do a small workshop for some children to kind of introduce them to the book, get some feedback, seeing if it works for them, seeing if they're learning from it. So that we could go ahead and go into production with the printed series. We're doing a 10-book series. So I
Uh,
am
be in touch with me. I'd really
for
like
sure.
to be supportive of that.
No, definitely. I have your information. I have yours too, Ella. Thank you so much for putting it in there. I did drop the website, so it has all of the information for the organization and everything on there. It also
Okay.
has the form, so I have a particular tab where it speaks of resources. And
Mhm.
so both of the resources that I just mentioned is a page for those who want to pilot the app. That's primarily for kids between the ages of 5 and 9. And then it's also a page for those who are interested in piloting these storybooks, which is primarily for 8 to 12. Another thing that I have on the website is on the very first page is like a download for a free link. And so what I did is I pretty much put together 6 money lessons to teach your children.
Hmm.
Because I think that that's very important, and like regardless to what I could instruct your kid all the time, but at the end of it, after they leave my workshop, they got to go home with you. Like, you know what I mean? And so if you frivolously spending money and all that type of stuff, one or two things is going to happen. Either they are going to follow suit, or they going to tell you about yourself because of the things that they learning from me. You know what I mean? So I wanted to bless parents because it's sticky sometimes. I instruct children, but it's like, what about the parents? When I first created the organization, that was pretty much my premise. Is that what I wanted to do? I started in Newark, New Jersey. That's where I was living at the time. I was born and raised in Brooklyn. When I came out here originally, I moved to Fayetteville. So I'm always in an underserved population. You know what I'm saying? Quite frankly, the hood, where most of us did not know how to adequately, manage our resources and our financial resources, especially effectively and effectively. Like, you know what I'm saying? So what I wanted to do was, by instructing children, is for it to backwards infiltrate the family and thereby empowering the community. You know what I mean? One of the biggest things that I realize is that we can't give what we don't have.
Yeah.
And if we don't have the knowledge, how are we supposed to teach our children? One of my biggest things, and we could end out with this, like when I was little, I always tell a story about how my parents, before I even started high school, they built a house. I lived in Brooklyn, but they built a house in Long Island from the ground up, right? Um, I didn't know what that entailed though until I got to be an adult, because I come from the generation where you don't talk about money, you don't share your financial business. That's none of the kids' business. You know what I'm saying? And so I wasn't taught certain things, the struggles, the accomplishment, and all that. I just knew that it happened, but I didn't know how it happened. And so that was one of the reasons that I founded Financial Boss, is so that young ones could understand the process. I teach children as young as 5 years old. And even though I can't teach them what a score is, and they're not fully going to understand that, one of our basic things that I teach them is borrowing, and how important it is. If you borrow Charlie's book bag, give his book bag back. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, as to set the foundation for the things that they're going to encounter later on in life. So, like, I'm extremely passionate about this, and not just with the kids, but empowering people with information that can be useful, especially to their financial success. So, like I said, I'm looking forward to connecting with y'all for real, and seeing how we could work together and how we could further like empower these children. Because like if we don't do it, nobody gonna do it.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? I feel like it's a personal charge, for those of us of age who have learned these fundamentals and who are able to impart this knowledge, it's our responsibility to go ahead and make sure that the next generation, I mean, if you think about it, like they the ones who are going to be running the world. That's what I had to think about. When I'm older, and I mean, hopefully one of my kids will let me live with them, right? Maybe.
Yeah.
But even if they do, I want to make sure that they put money in the fridge and don't go to the club. Like,
But,
you know what I'm saying? I want
but
to make sure that they pay the bills instead of buying sneakers. So, like, it's important. It's very important.
are
So,
are you
yeah.
familiar with that game called Cash Flow? It
No,
was
actually, I'm gonna have to
it's
look it up.
it's
Cash
it's
flow.
it's uh Robert, this is it here.
Robert. Okay.
Kiyosaki. It's Rich Dad Poor Dad is the guy,
Oh, nice.
and there's a game called Cash Flow, and I'm just going to uh
Oh, and it's all virtual.
yeah, this is virtual, but you can
You can
uh
get the actual game.
yeah, you
Yeah.
can get the actual game.
Oh,
Create
that's
game.
dope.
It's like a higher form of monopoly, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it started so you can see.
Oh,
But anyway,
got you.
this wheel in the center is called the rat race, and everybody
Okay.
starts off in the rat race, and you're trying you're trying to get out the
If
rat
that ain't
race.
the truth.
And different things can happen to you. So if I'm going to click here and it says Jimmy's turn, uh, and this says when you're ready, roll the dice. Oh, you have to roll the dice to see. Um, but yeah, you have
Oh,
a income statement as well, so you can see how much money you have at all times. You can buy things, you can sell things. You have, uh, and I didn't look to see what I usually it gives you a kind of a
Uh,
okay roll. There we go. Okay, and you pass the
the
payday, but it
opportunity.
depends on
Okay.
what job you have, determines how much money you get. There's a deal
Jeez.
opportunity, so I'm gonna say I only got $400 cash right now. My total income is 9,500, so the income's good. So I'm gonna see what the so sister-in-law borrows money.
Of course.
Uh, she needs $5,000. Do I want to loan her the money? So
Absolutely not.
cost is 5,000. Cash flow is zero. So I'm gonna pass on that.
Baz,
So
absolutely not.
so roll the dice again. So it just rolled around and says, another deal
Oh, and now you just
opportunity.
increased the cat. Oh, this is nice. See,
Because
man,
I went through
Jimmy,
through a payday. So I got paid.
bro, Jimmy, I had things
Um,
to do tonight. Now you're gonna have me
so
playing cash flow, okay?
anyway,
I had stuff to do tonight, Jimmy.
but things happen. You get opportunities come up. You might have children. If you have children, then your money goes faster. And
Yes,
you bought a
absolutely.
boat for the boat. All kinds of things come up. So the
Oh
idea
yeah, I'm
is
definitely
to
gonna play with this. Thank you. I've never seen this before. See, look at that knowledge, man. Thank you.
uh,
I appreciate this.
it's
I'm definitely about to play with this right now.
it's a great game for kids because they learn about handling cash.
mhm.
It's a great
Right.
game
And
for
I love
anybody.
the income statement. My associates is an accountant. I'm extremely mathematically inclined.
Yeah.
So anything with numbers, I love like my with the most people don't like that type of stuff. Man, that income statement, see again, my
Mhm.
eyes lit up. You doing too much, man. I got stuff to do today, okay? I got stuff to do tonight. I can't be
So
just playing games and playing with perplexity. All right.
I put the link in the chat
Thank
there.
you so much. I'm about to click on it
Uh,
right now. Look at you. You a man, you a problem, Jimmy, for real. You's a problem, man. See?
so
No,
anyway,
thank you. I really appreciate that though. Seriously. I am definitely gonna look into that for my own self and then also, and maybe being able to even implement it in financial boss. So I
yeah.
appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's
All
been
right.
great. You guys got anything else?
This has been wonderful. I look forward to the next sessions.
All right.
Awesome. That's what's
Sounds
up.
good.
Sounds good. See you guys in 2 weeks, if not before. I'm gonna
All right.
definitely reach out to y'all before though.
Yeah,
By the end of the week,
every Monday.
please. All right, no.
Okay.
Next Monday I will. I'm putting it in my calendar.
Okay.
Like as soon as we get off.
7:50.
Addie and Ella, I will reach out to you guys by the end of the week for sure, so that we could kind of chit chat and see what we could do in the future. Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
All
All
right.
right. I hope you guys have a great night.